In this video, we're going to discuss the navbar and NavObjects behavior. So there's a lot to cover in this because there's actually two behaviors in one that I'm covering today, because they go hand in hand and you really do need to use one with the other most of the time. We're also going to be exploring this level by Jisifu. This is one of the levels that he had sent me in for the contest that I'd done months ago, and we've only really scratched the surface of this level. It's entertaining to walk through, so I thought this is the perfect level for explaining the navbar behavior. So what I've done here is I've got a navbar. You can see it there at the top of my screen, and it has a compass, and I can see which direction I'm facing. And you can see there if there's an objective on the bar, and you can, if you look closely, it says 4,049. I know it's kind of a small number, but 4,049 units away. And there's a plus sign, which means it's above me right now. If there was a negative sign, it would be below me. But it is above me, technically, in height. And it's that far away, and it's in that direction. So we now know where the object is that we need to go find. So let's go find it. Let's just navigate through this, what I've described as a fever dream. It's really quite interesting, this level. And I thought it's great because it's going to entertain us as we're walking. Hopefully that helps explain what I mean. These little sound zones everywhere. They're really kind of fun, but it's a really neat level. Don't get me wrong. I love this level. This is one of my favorite ones that he sent me. It's really very interesting. It's the kind of thing that I don't think I could ever come up with on my own, and that's what I really enjoy about it the most. All right, so we're getting closer to our objective. You can see it's that way, but see now it's only 2,000 units away, so we're getting closer. You see, he's used like all kinds of different assets in this. There's a little pit down that way. This level is actually kind of a bit of a maze. It's a circle, and there's multiple paths, so you got to be careful. But I've walked through it a couple times so I don't get too lost. It would be ironic to get lost on a level where I'm demonstrating the nav bar. All right, so this level always cracks me up. Her too. All right, so we're almost there. We're getting closer. Maybe I should have gone the other way, but here I can sprint. Oh, here we go. Okay, so you can see now the objective icon is bigger. So the closer you get to the objective, the larger it's going to get. You can see that the number has gotten smaller as a result of getting closer. Plus sign is still there, so that means it's above us. And you can see that it's up these stairs. We're going to go up these stairs, and there it is. There's our objective. So let me show you how that all works. Okay, so we're back at the start. I've got the navbar object, the navbar behavior set to an object that's nearby. So really important, and I just want to cover this in case, I know I gloss over this on some of the videos, but I want to make sure that it's clear to everybody. In any case, in any behavior, you always want your object to be a dynamic object, so it needs to have physics on or physics off, but it can't be a static object. It has to have one of those two things. Typically, I choose physics on. And is a mobile, yes, and that just makes sure that the object doesn't float away for some reason. Some behaviors have movement included, and so you don't want it to get confused and start floating away because it thinks it's supposed to be moving. So mobile is yes, and then anytime you need an object to be I should say, anytime you want a behavior to be active, no matter how far away you are from it, you want this to be always active. Because if not, then if you get too far away from the object that has your behavior, then the behavior will lose focus of the player. It won't know where you are, and it will just stop working. We have the navbar behavior here. So we'll just step through this. We have a image file for the navbar. And that's just what's displayed at the top of the screen. and we can control the width of that image and the height of that image. And I have expanded that a little bit from stock, from like the default settings, just because I needed it to be, highly visible for the video. The position X is going to be where it is relative on your screen. Remember that X goes horizontally and 0 is going to be on your left, and it's going to get higher and higher and higher until it reaches the right side. Right in the middle is 50, so that's where we have ours, is directly in the middle. And then same thing with Y. It gets smaller at the top, larger as it goes down. So this would be 0, 50, 100. And I have mine really close to the top. It's right up at 5. We have the icon width, icon height. Again, that's really controlling the icon of the objective that you're trying to find. It's assuming you even have an objective. You don't necessarily need to use objective with navbar, but you do need to use navbar with objective. That clearly makes sense. I left these default. I didn't really tweak these at all, so play around with these and see what fits your needs. You can always swap out the icon with different things. We have the compass mode. That's the little tick box with the north and south and east and west. That is sort of like an image overlaid on top of another image, and you can turn that off. So you could just have, the objective on the bar, but no north, south, east, west. If that suits your game, you can just turn that right off. The compass Y and the compass view, the navigation, I should say, the north, south, east, west, and the various ticks on that bar. It's going to control how that looks. So play around with that again if you need the navigation on there. And then we have the objective data. So you remember before I showed you there's a number, and that tells you how many units away the object is. And also it has a plus or a minus sign, depending on if it's above you or below you. That's objective data. And so if we didn't want that, we could turn that off as well. But I left it on just so I could show it to you. So now let's jump over to our objective. So I'm just going to click on, incidentally, real quick, if you guys don't already know this, I want to say this is the default view. You can always use this little drop down to go to the detailed object view. These are all alphabetical. In my case, the objective is on a treasure. So if I click on treasure, I just pop straight over to the object that I clicked on. Saves you from having to scroll back and forth across the whole level. And then we have the navbar objective behavior. So this is a separate behavior, but it goes hand in hand. The image file for the little icon that you see. So that's what I was telling you earlier. You can always change that to be whatever icon you want it to be. We have fixed size. That's going to say, it kind of really contradicts the navbar. The navbar allows you to customize that size, or you can tick this box and it just becomes a fixed size that's predetermined, and that it's hard-coded in the behavior. So if you don't want to mess with that, you can always tick this box here. Ignore range is another one of those things where right in the first parameter in navbar determines how far out is it going to look, and I think the default was 6,000 units. You could also tick this box, and then it wouldn't matter how far away you are from the object, is still going to show up. So you could use that as well if you prefer. Proximity range is how close do you have to be to the objective for the next couple of parameters to become important, right? So it really plays into this next bit here. So we have when in proximity, we have some options. We could do nothing, which is what I did. I just walked up to it, nothing happened. But we could also remove the marker from the navbar. So once I'm within that proximity range, then the marker would disappear. We can trigger something to happen and then remove the marker. So maybe we want a door to open, or we want a monster to spawn, or whatever we want to trigger. That could happen at that moment. We could also destroy the entity. So that has a couple different flavors as well. We can destroy this entity, the one that's holding the behavior, or we can designate an entity that we want to destroy. So for instance, let's suppose we wanted to knock this wall down when I get close to the objective, then we can just put the name of that wall right here. And when I get within range, it would destroy the wall, not the treasure. And then, maybe reveal a hidden path or something like that, whatever you want to do. Okay. So like I said, a whole lot to cover. That was a lot to go over. Play it back if you need to. But if you enjoyed the video or if you learned anything new, please be sure to click the like button down below. That helps me out a lot. If you're new here or if you just haven't subscribed yet, would love to have you. We're getting really close to 500, which is just a neat milestone. And then lastly, if you'd like a notification for whenever new videos are posted, just click the bell icon and that'll notify you anytime new videos are posted. Thanks so much for watching all the way through. I know it was kind of a long one, but I appreciate it, guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. Hey, don't forget there's a written guide for every behavior, including ones I haven't yet covered on this channel. And if you want to learn some more, why don't you check out this video next.